In this video, what I want to do is walk you through a couple of examples solving queries. So the first query that we've got is number 5 from the first practice for select statements. And where I always begin is with the from clause. So I'm going to add that into my code, and I'm also going to indent it to make sure that I know where each different part or clause of my query begins. Now this one's pretty straightforward because we're only dealing with a single table. So I'm going to go out to the titles table. That's where my data is. The next thing that I need to do is figure out which rows I want to include, and that's what a where clause is about. So in this question, calculating the price, what I'm really looking for is any place where the books have a price more than $20. Now when you're dealing with money, you want to make sure you drop any extra symbols, dollar sign, commas. You'll need the decimal point if you've got a fraction. So I've simply got a comparison between the contents of the price field and the number 20. And wherever price is more than that, that row will be part of my answer. So the final piece of my query is to actually figure out what I want in the result. So I'm going to include the title and the current price. And you can see I'm getting IntelliSense popping up with some common things. And what I need now is to calculate the price if they're reduced. So, well, if it's cut by 5%, that means I've still got 95% of the original. So my calculation is the contents of the price field times 0.95. And then I'm going to use an alias and call it reduced price. So at this point, what I've done, go out, read the rows from titles, only include those rows where the price is more than 20, and for any remaining rows display the value from the title field, the price field, and then a calculated field that is 95% of the price. So I'm going to go ahead and run it, and I get a list of books, and I can see the price for all of them is more than 20, and then I've got my column that shows what a 5% reduction would be. Now the second query is dealing with books that cost less than $15 and were published in 1995. So again, I'm going to start with my from clause. We're only dealing with the titles table. And I need to limit my rows where it's true that price is less than 15. So again, I've got my comparison to the field and my set value. No dollar sign, no commas. And I've got a second test. I'm going to go ahead and drop down a line and add this second condition. And what I need now is the publishing date, which is pub date, happened in 1995. Well, the pub date field holds date values. So there's a couple ways I can deal with this. I can look for the year of the date field is 1995, or avoiding the calculation, reading the year from it using either year or date part, I can simply say that publishing date is between the first day of the year, 1/1/1995, and the last day of the year. Now the piece to remember about between is that it's inclusive. Both endpoints are included valid values for the result. So I've defined both of my conditions, and now I need that logical operator to tell me how to put them together. Both of these must be true. Price is less than 15 and the publishing date is between January 1st, 1995 and December 31st. That defines a year. So I'm going to finish simply select all of the fields from titles. Got an error. Okay, so pub date actually didn't have the underscore, and I don't get anything back. Now, does that mean that there's a problem with my query? No, it just means one of two things. Either there's no values in the table, or that there's no values, no rows that satisfy the conditions that I've listed. That's okay. Now, real quick, I'm going to go back to the error that I had, a misspelled field name. One of the things that you can do in Management Studio to help write your queries when you see these error messages, double click on it, and in some cases it can point you to where the problem is. Now, the limitation of this is everything in my code here is one command. So where it says level 16 state 1 line 2, well, it is the second line, all of the things that are part of this. First line being my comment, the second being my select statement. But this double click can get me at least in the neighborhood. So take advantage of the information that you've got here, and can help you get things figured out a little sooner. The one caution that I'd make using the error messages and double clicking in the neighborhood might mean that the actual problem is either just before, just after, or in the middle of the current command. So all it's doing is getting you close.